Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So what I want to talk about today is the Leaving Neverland documentary, which I hate even saying those words and having to bring up any discussion about it, but it's so dominating right now in the Michael Jackson community. There's parts of there's things we need to talk about. So what I want to show you here is that this is professional boxing, and I'm a sports. I know a lot about sports, so I know a lot about sports theory and how you win events. And there's ways that how you win events, and how sports, and how fighting, and how sport. And one of the things you do is you don't let the other person dictate on you. You don't follow what they do, and you don't just respond to what they do. You have to force your will upon that other person and get them off of their game, and get them then trying to respond to you while you're just running over them. So what I'm trying to show you right now, and this is the thing I don't like about the Michael Jackson community, is what I'm saying is you're playing their game. The Leaving Neverland, it was a one-sided thing. And now we're trying, I'm not doing it that way, but the Michael Jackson community is trying to defend Michael Jackson off of evidence and facts. But what I'm trying to stress to you guys is that you guys don't even understand what's happened. The community, the people that are the Michael Jackson fans, I hate to admit it, but you guys don't know what's happened now. You guys are in a fantasy land. We're in trouble. You don't know how bad it is. And I'm going to show you this sporting event because I'm going to try and get to sink into the reality of what's happened. They beat the fucking shit. We're in trouble right now. Things need to get changed up. So what I'm going to show you here is this fight here. It's a classic fight. On the left is Smokin' Joe Frazier. On the right is George Foreman. So in this analysis, and the analogy is what I'm going to show you is George Foreman is the documentary. And the documentary is going to be taking shots at Michael Jackson's legacy. Okay, so over in the white shorts, that's all of the Michael Jackson fans and all of Michael Jackson's legacy. And it's just made to order because it's a one-sided thing. And this fight will represent that, because you'll see that this is just a made to order. The guy is just standing right there. The other guy's bigger and stronger and just going to dominate on him. And this is what's happening, is that the Neverland documentary, because Michael Jackson's dead and you're dealing with the baseline of history that's already basically been established, they were able to then stand there and just take shots. Just take shots, and vicious shots. This is what I'm trying to say. They took these shots that were so vicious that it's hard, you can't, this is what I'm saying now. They altered the game. The shots that they came back, and those shots that they took were so vicious, and they've pounded us down so bad that those shots cannot be come back at now with evidence. Because in the simple fact of, and this is what you get to where everybody is, there's a big problem. Everybody says, why do you have a man in his 40s sleeping with boys? And then they always get down to the point too when they say that people are defending him. They say, well, you weren't in the bedroom when these boys are saying they were being molested. You weren't there, right? And everybody says no. And it's like these little things are not, you can't counter these things. There's no counter punches. They're beating the fuck out of you guys. You guys think you're coming back. You don't know. You don't get it. Like, it's already been done in history now, and I'm trying to show you that you guys think you're in a fight, and it's like, no. I'm going to show you how here now. What's actually happening is we've been beat bad. And so, boom. Here we go. They're taking shots at us now, you know. This would represent the first night of the documentary. Bam! Okay, here it comes to start hitting hard. They start talking about the allegations. The kids start saying, Michael's touching me. And they start saying, Michael's a pedophile. Michael's a pedophile. Michael's a pedophile. Okay, we're hurt. We're over there. We're stunned. We don't know how to handle this now. We got some hard shit coming at us. Okay, they're calm. Look at them. That's the documentary. They're calm. They got this easy, boom, boom, taking shots at us. What are we don't know how to handle this. We're just standing there. Okay, we take a shot. We don't know what to do. We're doing our normal thing. We don't know how to handle this. These shots are not nice. They're saying Michael would have me naked on the bed and he would be jerking off while I held my butt cheeks open. You know, these shots are hurting. This is what they're saying about us. Boom, boom. There's no defense against this stuff because they're saying you weren't in the room. We're just standing there. We are just standing there like suckers. Boom. And they're taking shots at us. Bam. They're beating our asses. Bam. We're hurt. We're in trouble. This is the whole Michael Jackson community. We're in trouble. We are staggered. We're wobbled. Right now, we're like out there. We keep getting up. We keep getting up and come on, I'm ready to fight. You want to fight? Come on, let's go. I'll fight you. I'm not going to give up. I don't give a fuck what you do to me. Bam. We're down. They keep saying this shit. Michael was touching my penis. Michael was freaking a pedophile. Everything about him. Look how bad we are. We're hurt. They're having after the first night. Bam. This is the first night's over. They're carrying us to bed. We're all in shock. They hurt us bad. So then, so we come now, let's go over to the second night. So, get into the second night. Let's get these, they're showing the reruns there still part. Okay, so now they start picking back up in the second night. They're taking shots at us again. Now they're coming at us, the damn fucking Safe Chuck kid saying, oh, Michael, he's saying Michael took me to the jewelry stores and he'd buy all the jewelry and he bought me this ring and, and we had a secret wedding ceremony and bam, we're down. We're in trouble. How are we going to deal with this? We are hurt. Okay, we're back up. Let's try and get back in. Let's try and hit them with some facts. Let's try and how are we going to stop? Bam! Fuck! This shit. The Michael's a pedophile. He was touching me. He was kissing me. All the stuff. What they said. It pounded us down. And people don't understand. We're sitting ducks. We're just sitting ducks just like this. And they're taking shots at us. And you guys keep thinking that you can win playing the camp. We're just standing there. Bam! They beat our ass. Oprah came in and finished us off that second night. We keep trying to get up. There's no use. The accusations that they're making, they're playing a different game, and we can't win that game. We're trying. You're trying to fight. That's what I keep saying. Right there, they would beat us, and you're trying to step back in there playing the same game, trying to keep attacking the same way. And what I'm trying to stress to you guys is you don't understand. They beat the fuck out of us with their allegations. And those allegations conquered and decimated Michael's entire legacy. They used everything against him. They flipped everything, turned it all against him. And there's a massive amount of people now who see everything that Michael Jackson did as a grooming techniques on these kids. That's the way they see it. And you people are not respecting the fact that in a courtroom now, if you've got two boys saying the same story, their stories are similar, that right there it's hard to conquer that. It's very hard to conquer it. So what I'm saying now is my story. I change up the whole thing on them. I come in now. So that was Muhammad Ali beating Frazier's ass. So then the next fight after that, George Foreman had to fight Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali changed it up. He didn't just stand there. He was a whole different technique, a whole different style that they weren't. And they came up with a name called the RopeaDope. And he's like, he'll fight, but when he can't fight, he goes back on the rope and plays defense and lets George Foreman swing out and throw all his energy at him. But now he's in control. He's dictating the way that this is going to go. And what I'm trying to stress to you is that that's what my story does. My story will dictate to them the future circumstances of how this is going to go. But I can't do this alone. I need to have the Moonwalker community saying, we see that this is truth, and with this truth, we're going to decimate you guys now. We're going to give you the RopeaDope. We're going to change it up on you. Now we're going to get you. So, boom, they're taking shots at us again. It's a real fight. This is no walkover. To beat these guys, we're going to have to be smart, like Muhammad Ali, like the greatest of all time. He leans on the ropes. He's just smarter. Boom. Taking shots at him now, motherfucker. He's like, no. You're not just going to sit here and wail on me. I'm smarter than you. Look I'm going to draw you in. I'm going to wail on you. You're going to miss. I'll lean back. I'll let you wail on me all you can. He's like, I can take all this stuff. I'm faster than you. Boom. My shots are cleaner than yours. I'm a better fighter than you are. I'm smarter than you are. You can't deal with my story. Like my stuff. Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's mom. These people don't know how to deal with that. Nobody is going to be prepared to deal with this stuff. What I'm saying is, Michael Jackson's an orphan. It actually explains the problem that you people can't understand. The people are saying, why is Michael Jackson that way? And your story about Michael Jackson's no childhood, if you didn't watch the documentary, they flipped that and said that was a grooming technique. It's a grooming technique. Okay, but if you turn it into my story, it can't be a grooming technique because the harsh reality of it is so real. And that's what people are going to understand. I'm going to be able to come back and beat these people's asses when I explain to them, Diana Ross got pregnant at 14 years old by an 18-year-old Smokey Robinson right after Smokey Robinson had signed on with Berry Gordy. It's the key to the whole thing. This is what pisses me off about you people. If you're not talking about Motown, you're not talking about anything about my Michael Jackson story. And I don't hear you people talking about anything. It's Motown. So I'm trying to tell you. So like right now here, I'm Muhammad Ali telling you my story. And I'm telling you, it's Motown. What you people don't understand, it's Motown. It's all about Motown. I'm going to beat their ass when I express to them, it's all about Motown. Boom, Motown. It's about Motown. They had to get rid of Michael. It's all about Motown. Boom. Take their fucking ass out. You can beat their fucking ass. We can fucking raise our fucking arms in victory because we're the champs. We're the greatest of all times. We got Michael. We know what we got the best. We are the best, just like Muhammad Ali. When it comes down to it, we are going to fucking stand victorious. But what I'm telling you now is you fans don't understand the game has been altered. And what you don't understand is that Michael's got a built-in secret weapon that he had this truth lying in wait all the time that for a fan to discover. And it just so happened to be that I was the fan. And I don't know why I'm not getting any credit as a Michael Jackson fan. I'm older than most of you people. You know, I lived through all the Michael Jackson stuff. I actually listened to the Off the Wall album. So the Jacksons and stuff I had to listen to, but when I was a kid, I listened to when the Off the Wall album came out. So I'm technically a Michael Jackson fan from the beginning of his career all the way to the end, like the whole way. How many of you people out there can say you were that? Not many of you, I know that, and it's just a simple thing. I was that. So I don't have to prove myself as a Michael Jackson fan. I'm way more than none of you. Like, that's one of the things that traps and pissed me off in that video. He'll disrespect people that put labels, old people, put me, oh, I'm old, I'm a troll. These people who put these dismissive labels on people to discredit them, it's because they're too ignorant to recognize what's standing in front of them, too weak to deal with the pressure of the fucking conversation that's coming at them. When I'm simply just saying, hey, I'm a Michael Jackson fan. Can't you talk to me just as a fucking Michael Jackson fan? So what's going to happen here is my story is going to run over these fools. I'm going to RopeaDope all over them. They can't deal with it because my story is the real story. Michael's an orphan. Michael lives with the Jacksons and he becomes into the Jackson 5, but then as they turn into the Jackson 5 and sign with Motown, they go to live with Diana Ross when they move to California. That is when I say that Diana Ross informs Michael. When he's 10 years old, she informs them of actually what happened, that she's his actual mother. So now what this would have done to the psyche of Michael Jackson is that Michael Jackson realizes he was orphaned as a child. He realized he was raised in the Jackson's family, but all of the abuse that Joe was putting on him, he's looking at it different now. Like he's abusing him like he's more like a slave. He's being used and controlled. There's no love there because he realizes, well, Joe's not my dad. He's not this, he's not my dad. He was just beating me to control me, to get me into Motown, to force, because that's what he did. That's exactly what he did. As soon as he seen Michael had talent, he said, boom, get the whip out. I'm whipping all you kids into shape. We're going to make a band because Michael has direct connections back to Motown. And it's so funny because look at all of the conspiracy stories out there, the madness of things like just the simple. And this is like when I talked about the fans. Okay, like Michael Trapson, how many hours have you put into the Michael Jackson pedophile story? Like just defending it, watching it. How many hours? So how many hours are you willing to think about Michael Jackson, even in defending him? It's a thought of a pedophile. That's what I'm telling you. You're playing their game. My story, I don't even need to defend them because I conquer it. My story conquers. I don't have to come back and even fight those accusations anymore because when they hear my story, the truth, Michael was an orphan. Diana Ross then informs him at 10 years old the truth. So what this does to his psyche, Michael sees he's not part of the Jacksons. He's got to stay with the Jacksons now. What would that have done to the kid? Oh, well, look at his real life. It turns him into Peter Pan. It turns him into a kid who then, since he's 10 years old, he sees his brothers having all of the attraction with the girls. But Michael, since he is 10 years old, he's still old enough to not really be interested in that. But now he's a child he's a love child of a love gone bad, and he's an orphan. He's got this massive thing that he's dealing with in his head now. Do you think getting involved in sexual relationships had any interest to him? No. That's why when you see him getting into the time of his teenage years, when he should be having sexual relationships, he's not. He's hanging out with the girls like Brooke Shields, and they're just friends. They're not having sex. And it's clearly proven. They all say that. There's no sex going on there. Michael's hanging out with these beautiful white women. There's no sex there because Michael's not having sex. And this is a thing that just continued throughout his whole life and became who he was. Because he was damaged as an orphan, the real thing, he became Peter Pan. He did his music. He put all his effort into his music. He did all the things he did. One of the things he was not doing, had no interest in, was having sex with women. My story proves that. And when you actually see why he wasn't having sex with women, because you guys can't, this is another thing for you kids and that you don't understand. All the adults in the world understand that Michael Jackson at nighttime would have been having erections. This is the problem. Nobody's even bringing this up. Not only erections, quite possibly wet dreams, which means in your dreams what happens when you're adult is you can have sexual fantasies in your dream, but it's not just a fantasy. When you have sex in the dream and you have an orgasm, you actually have an orgasm. You have a wet dream. You come. It's real. And it's common as hell. It's very, very common. That's why they're saying, well, if you're not having sex with girls, we know you're having wet dream fantasies in your night. We know you have erections. This is the problem. Why people are saying we're not ever going to accept Michael sleeping in the bed with boys unless you can prove there's got to be something else. And we know it's not sex with women. And he looks odd, and he has this thing about him that he's not the most masculine man and shit, he has this thing. And so people instantly, that's what I'm telling you, it looks like pedophile. The fans, I don't know why you don't even say, it's like, hey, you have to acknowledge that it looks that way. And you can see why people would see it that way. Now the fans are loaded with real facts and real knowledge, so they know what's really going on. And they trust him as a good person. They see so much overwhelming as a good person, and they can see the time, and they can see that stuff's not what was going on. But they can't, what the problem with the fans is they can't explain the bedroom, why it was actually happening. And they try and say he didn't have a childhood, and it's like people are bullshit. That's not an excuse. Your excuse and what you were saying to Michael was being beat. Everybody's out there saying, we all been through that. It's not it. But my story, Michael's orphaned to the Jacksons. He was given to the Jacksons at 10 years old. He's re-victimized by Diana. He's informed he's not a Jackson, but now that he has to stay living with the Jacksons, what would that have done to him? Like I say, I don't have to ask what it would have done to him. Look at who he became. It's my story that does it. Only my story changes up the game. I'm the RopeaDope here. If you guys want to win this fight, we got to hit them with the RopeaDope. My story, RopeaDopes their ass. They can't handle it. Before they know what's happening, boom, they're going to be on the canvas, and we're going to be raising our hands victorious. Michael Jackson's name is going to be cleared forever. He's not going to be technically a Jackson. The Jacksons won't be blood relatives to Michael, but they all still were the Jacksons. That was a real band. They performed. Chill out. I'm not destroying everything, but I'm letting you know the real deal, you know, that Motown started off with a scheme, a fraud, where they gave Michael Jackson away. Without that occurring, Motown never develops. It's quite possibly Motown, we never, ever, ever have Motown. And that's what I'm telling you to the people. You're not talking my story until you understand Motown, the connection. Until you come at me talking about Motown, you haven't listened to my story. And this is why I keep trying to tell you. You people come at me and they try and say, it's like, you don't know anything about my story. Unless you're talking about Motown and you're talking about 14-year-old Diana Ross being in love with Smokey Robinson, that I've proven hardcore, factually, that I've proven that Berry Gordy and Joseph Jackson were overwhelmingly doing the same things in the same locations at the same time for a number of years before Michael was born. They definitely knew each other. That's how it happened. I'm proving all of this stuff, but I can't explore more and keep going more until you people even get onto the first step and understand it's all about Motown. That's why the Jacksons signed back to Motown. That's why Diana goes right to Motown. That's how all of them end up there. And that's why I keep saying, the conspiracy theories. You people are willing to spend time on the most outlandish things, just craziest stories. All I'm saying is a young girl had sex with the boy she was in love with, and they gave the kid away so that they could further their life and their future goals. That's it. But the kid ended up having serious talent, and then because they put him in the Jacksons family where the Joe had the desire too, Joe then took that talent, nurtured it, brought it right back to Motown and hooked them all back together. And my story's so simple. I don't even know why people think it's complicated. It's so simple, clean, and neat, and a little packaged ball explains everything. And I can't get people, goddamn Michael Trapson, fuck you, Michael Trapson. You know the bitch the other day, oh, you still talking to Diana? Give that shit up. Talking down to me? Fuck you, you weech-ass bitch motherfucker. I keep telling you, you're going down. You fucking talk down to me like that, you're nothing. I'm RopeaDoping on all you motherfuckers. It's coming. You either help me or I fucking run all over you. And if I have to do this by myself, I'm telling you, I'm taking down the fucking Moonwalker community too.